So, quick car YouTube for the day. Leadership versus management. I, for one, have been known to be a great leader. A lot of people have said, Art, you're a great leader, and done reviews on my LinkedIn saying how great a leader I am. One thing I admit to being is a poor manager. Now, as an executive, you have to be both. You have to manage and lead. You have to manage by KPIs and OKRs. You have to manage by objective, which is the O in the OKR. You have to do a lot that is management in order to be a successful executive. I make up for some of my poor management abilities by being a great leader, meaning that usually when I pick up the flag on the battlefield, everyone follows me. And I am great with influence, and I'm very perceptive of what people want and need, and I'm able to work with people and support them and give them the leadership that they need. So management and leadership are different. Management is really making sure things get done to a certain level of quality in a certain timeline. It's a lot of times it's focusing on the how, the tactical steps. Management is governing that leadership or governing that execution. Leadership is defining that vision and communicating that vision and getting the team moving in one direction together. And so management and leadership are different. And for an executive, it's important to be both. So I admit that my weakness is management. So I'm, constantly trying to improve that. But, it may be one of those things where I think my weakness is management, but in reality, I may be better than I think I am. But one thing that I don't love is basically being a people accountant. And so where I have 1,000 metrics and KPIs to measure somebody's success by. And I want to drill it down to one outcome or two outcomes. I think that, nickel-and-diming somebody's performance on a lot of different factors is not unfair to a human, but is unrealistic. And not only that, but it takes time out of my day, which is valuable, and for a task that is really not important and adds no value to the company. So a lot of management tasks I see as valueless and very expensive because there's an opportunity cost with every management task I get asked to do. So when I'm supposed to come up with meaningless reports that really show no progress, show nothing around metrics or KPIs that were ill-developed and really don't do anything to further the company's objectives, and I'm supposed to harp on these and then be very involved in and engaged in every action that everybody is doing, and basically conducting the how they do an operation very tactically. That's not me. I'm not a machine shop foreman or a factory line foreman. Conducting every operation to less skilled laborers. Not that machine shop laborers are less skilled; they're freaking phenomenal. But if I'm having to be that involved with somebody, it's because I've hired the wrong person for the job and they don't understand how to do the work. And that's fine. I can train somebody how to do the work. But in my point of view, that level of management should be a training exercise, not a daily management exercise. Leadership, should be, most of what I do, and management should just be, if I set up my systems right, it shouldn't take as much as it often does. So usually when I'm asked to closely manage a team, I cringe so hard, because to me that means I don't trust my team. To me that means that I have the wrong people on the ship, To me, that means that tasks aren't well defined, or the job is not well defined. The outcomes and the expectations are not well defined. So I'm having to sit here and steer the entire time, and to me, that's unrealistic, and it's not what I'm best at. We have people in our company that are great at that level of management, but honestly, as a leader, people hate them. So, I'd rather have people like that be managing in those situations, and I'd rather be the one coming up with the strategy for the company and the vision and the objectives at the top level and move the ball forward. And then, communicate that to my team and have my team completely understand really the vision of where we're going, and then use their own skills and understanding to execute on that vision. That's my idea of leadership. Like, I don't want to sit here and say, okay, the objective is XYZ. That means that, there's these 5 tactical steps in every task that every person has to do, and sit there and follow them through it and measure their performance on each step. No. Like, to me, I want to measure, is my entire objective moving closer to the goal? So what we're talking about really is a difference in level of management and level of thinking. And I'm really bad at the lower management levels. It's something that I can do, but it's really something that is not something that, to me, it feels uncomfortable. It feels like I'm telling somebody how to do their work, and to me that undermines that person's ability to execute, that person's personal authority to get the job done. And I know when I'm doing a task and somebody is completely hawking over everything I do, I don't want to do that work. So I know that feeling is felt by people that are also being micromanaged like that. So it's something that's needed in certain situations, and management is always needed as far as to some extent. But an executive needs to be able to lead and manage, and I'd rather manage from the top KPIs and OKRs rather than what I consider micromanagement, but or management by 1,000 metrics of people's performance, because I think that really kind of devalues the person and devalues the work. And as a manager, it feels like accounting. Feels like I'm nickel and diming somebody's performance. All right. Have a good day, people.